Hello, hello, little rats. Welcome back to another episode of Chatty Rats. I'm your co host, Rasheen, aka Sheen, and I am joined by.
Natalia. Oh my god, Rasheen. She is rebranding.
She's rebranding. We're back with another little mini episode. Me and Natalia are stacking it up because we're going to have hopefully a busy February. I don't know
Yeah.
if I told you, if you guys don't know, and if Natalia doesn't know, I think she knows. But every year I have a tradition of going on a birthday trip because I hate birthday parties. Not birthday parties, sorry, birthday dinners. And I feel like that's what adults do. Like we all like get together for birthday dinners and they just feel so awkward, so stiff. You're stuck to like the same person the whole night. So
I
I
hate it.
decided from the age of I think like 22, so I've kept this tradition alive a long time that I'm going to travel every year for my birthday and go with like friends or family or whatever it might be. But this year, I think I'm going to do a solo trip, Natalia, because I don't think any of my friends that I usually travel with are available. And I don't really want to bother them because like one of them is going through like a personal thing and the other one, the two that I usually travel with, has like a
Yeah.
crazy situation with her job. So I just don't even want to ask, "Hey, can you go on this like trip with me?" So I'm just going to do a solo trip.
Wait,
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Have you narrowed down any places?
Yeah, so today I think I'm feeling pretty confident. I want to do Hawaii. I wanted to do somewhere tropical that's going to recharge me. And that's not crazy, crazy expensive because I'm just gonna go for a few days, maybe like 5 or 6 days. But yeah, that was just my update that I think this year's birthday trip is gonna be solo, which is I'm kinda excited
I
for.
love. I think you're gonna have a lot of fun.
Same. I feel like you don't get to celebrate many birthdays alone, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Like, why not try it one year? That's always my perspective.
I think you're gonna love it.
I agree. It's crazy the come up where I think we had one episode that never got aired where I was gonna go to Disneyland alone and I was like nervous and anxious. Do you remember?
Oh yes.
It
Yes.
never got aired. But yeah, the come up is real, guys. But today I want to talk about the craziest epiphany I have had, Natalia.
Spill the tea, spill the
Like it
tea.
blew my mind when I had it. And maybe it'll blow your mind too when you hear it because it's pretty crazy. So, as all things start, I had posted on my close friends. I had a curvy page follow me. Like, there's these accounts where, like, they'll just repost curvy girls, right? And
Mhm.
they had followed me, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, this is really triggering for some reason because I had an ex who followed a shit ton of pages like that. That was his thing, that was
Mm.
his MO, and if we think about it deeper, he loved curvy women, like fetishized them and their bodies, and it was a whole thing. So I had
Mhm.
posted it, and then someone responded saying how what was it exactly they said? They had said to be fetishized is to be dehumanized. My heart's like
Wow.
with you, and I hope that you find a kinder, healing love. And I was like,
Oh.
oh, that's such a beautiful message. But that message just got me thinking. I was like, damn, that's really interesting because I just went in this whirlwind of thinking about my relationship and how I did allow myself to be fetishized subconsciously. I let it happen. But in a sense, I wonder if it was because I thought that the value I have to offer is my body and like that equals me being loved. Cause I
Yeah.
was looking back and I was like, I do remember there was specific points where maybe jokingly my partner would be like, haha, don't lose weight, blah, blah, blah. And I remember thinking, if I lost weight, would he still like me or would he still love me?
Oh, that's
And
crazy.
yeah, it's a crazy epiphany to have. So I was going down that wormhole where I was like, I almost felt like my value was my curviness, and without it, I wouldn't be loved. And obviously, that relationship ended almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I've moved past that, but I think I carried that still with me where I felt like if I'm not curvy, maybe I don't have value to men. Like, oh, if I lost my booty or if I lost my curves, I'm not gonna have value for men.
I was gonna
Oh,
say, I have
yeah,
a
go.
question. When your ex would make comments like, "Don't lose weight, I love you curvy," did you feel a relief at the time? Or like what did you feel when you had those comments, I guess?
I think it felt really nice in the moment because I felt like, "Oh, I'm being accepted for who I am." Like, it's so nice that he loves my body the way it is. And I
Mhm.
think if we just looked at it from, like, that isolated incident, like, maybe it would be fine, but now looking back, he fetishized curvy bodies,
Right.
was obsessed with it, and I feel like that in a sense devalued me. Like, it wasn't like me that he loved, it was the vision of the curvy bodies is what he loved. So it wasn't like, "Oh, I love you and you have this body, so, like, don't change." I don't know how to explain it, articulate it the right way, but it's like,
Well, that's a distinction that I wanted to have, right? Because
yeah.
it being a compliment versus it being a fetish, it can be a thin line.
Yes.
'Cause I think about so many women, and it could be the same thing for, like, thinness as well, where, like,
Mhm.
you your boyfriend's dating you, you're super fit, and it's like, is that what he likes, or is it just you for you? So I just wanted to make that distinction clear because it's not the fact that he, like, gave you a compliment, it's the fact that it's attached to fetish.
Yes, and also I think, like, when you truly love someone, you wouldn't be like, "Don't lose weight," or "Do lose weight," right? Like, it would just be like,
Right.
"Hey, I love your body the way it is. Doesn't matter if you gain or lose, I love it the way it is," right?
Yeah, like, "I love
So I
you,"
think,
like, that should be the
yeah,
comment,
that's the
not,
base.
"I love this." Yeah.
Yeah, so that's I think that's the distinction. But then I
Mhm.
was also thinking how this trickled into other aspects of my life because I started my social media page on the back of me being curvy and curvy representation, which I think is so important. So it's not to say that. But I was just thinking there's also a fear that was attached with me losing weight, with me also not bringing value to my social media. So deep, deep down, I had this fear of if I lost weight, would my content be able to stand alone on its own? Would people still want to follow me if I lost weight? Would people still like, for example, my outfits or just even relate to me if I lost weight? This was like deep
Right.
in my mind. It's interesting how I felt like so much of my value came from this identity of being curvy.
Yeah.
I think having this realization is really freeing because it feels like I myself bring value no matter what body I'm in.
Yeah, I love that, and I
Yeah.
like that you were able to connect the 2 from your past, number 1, because I feel like it talks about a lot about, like, your transformation, right? I love the message of it's not the identity that you've attached yourself to, it's literally just you, you
Yes.
know? You and all your changes, like, it doesn't matter what kind of body or how your
Mhm.
personality changes, it's like your heart at the end of the day, which I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, exactly.
This kinda reminds me of the change that I've gone through in the last, like, 2 years as well. Notoriously, my whole life, I've always been, like, funny, goofy girl, and there was one period of my life where I was very married to that identity of I'm the funny person, and I
Mhm.
even started to, like, dress down, like, not really be fashionable because I am down to earth girl. I am the one with the bros, like, I am this person, and I stopped doing that, and probably in the last, like, 2 years, I've started to pick up my fashion again because I was so married to being this, like, chill this chill girl, and, like, the reality was is that just because I dress up better or just because I have a fashion sense does not mean that I am losing any of my funniness or my personality, like, that's such a silly thing. So that's another instance which I think, like, identity has been, like, a big thing for me because realizing that, like, I am just me. Now, if I wanted to be, like, chill girl, whatever, because I just felt like it, that's fine, like, be you, but the thing is, like, that wasn't me at all, And this bled into my dating as well. I remember like a couple of guys had dumped me in the past because they felt like I wasn't sexy, or they were like, I just don't feel like that passion. Like, I love you as a friend. I love you as a friend. If I could echo, that was like a theme. And that's when part of me would freak out because I was like, oh, like, is my funny girl identity like not enough? Am I supposed to be like it was just, it's a lot, right? But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I am sexy. I am funny.
Mhm.
Those guys just didn't like me for my heart. The reality is, if I overcorrected to be an only sexy girl and then I overcorrected to be an only funny girl, those men still were not going to love me because they still didn't like my heart. They didn't like me. And that's where, like, now I feel like I've achieved more balance and I am loved for my balance. So it's just funny how, like, don't try to get married to an identity. You are going to be loved for you. And yeah, I think that that realization can really help you get your confidence back. So I love
That's
that.
so true. I think you make such a good point because I think that's the dangerous thing of attaching yourself to an identity to the point where you like overcorrect and then just feel like your whole value comes from that identity. Because I feel like
Exactly.
then you lose a little bit of yourself and you feel like you can't stand without that identity being a part of you.
Exactly. And all in all, this is all superficial, right? I think about like, how do you want to be loved by whoever? Or even if you can't think of an example, like, how do you love people? Because
Mhm.
as far as I've known, my best friends for years and years, my family that I love so much, I love their heart. Like, I love them and all the versions of them because it's their core that I'm like, obsessed with, right? So when you think about it like that, then that gives you permission to be like, wait, no one is really thinking about this. I'm the person making that up in my head that I am loved because I have this or because I have that. It's like, that's not
Mm.
true.
We just all want to be loved at the end of the day, so that's what it comes back to, whether it's in relationships or
Exactly.
online or whatever. That gives a little food for thought for the little rats to see, is there any identity that you're, like, over identifying with in your life or are afraid to let go? Because I sure did. So let us
Yeah.
know if there's anything that comes to mind. Food for thought, as always. We're here to feed the little
Yeah.
rats little foods and see where it applies or where it doesn't apply in your life.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes identity can be a prison. So, yeah, think about
Wow, that's a
that.
bar.
I mean, it can be. Like, for me, it was. It's when we overcorrect, the queens of overcorrection over here. But we're here to tell you so that you don't make the same mistakes
I know we're
we
the
did.
overcorrection police, so we're here to break down all the overcorrections that we do. And
I feel like that is our brand. Like, every episode, we're like, so.
but to be real, Natalia, I just feel like as a society, we've gone down the craziest overcorrection in every single category. So that's why it just feels relevant to today.
Exactly. Um, but yeah, that's all we have for today. We hope that you have the best week ever. And I think when this drops, Sheen and I are likely traveling. So, watch our stories, give us some love.
Yeah, live vicariously through us. Love you
Yeah.
guys.
Love you
Bye.
guys. Bye.